Hello, this is Sam Froese, and this is my speech review for Abigail Stevens. Abigail, if you see this, I think you did a fantastic job in your speech. I enjoyed your stream of conscious about the book, and it felt like you were able to add your own thoughts and insights very easily alongside it. I could definitely tell that you enjoyed what you read and got a lot out of it. However, you seem to have jumped right into the book review portion without giving too long of an introduction. You did sort of just introduce the author and title, though your opening statement could have been a bit longer in order to properly establish the book. Your speech could potentially benefit from having a bit more clear of an outline, such as a focus on some transitionary words like, now let's talk about some of the content found in the book, or something similar. As I was listening, I noticed that you use quite a few uhs and ums between some of your sections. Maybe consider pausing between some of your points to allow yourself time to collect your thoughts and continue onward. I know something that helps me is focusing on how I want to deliver some of the words that I say, as the first words in any paragraph seek to capture the audience's attention. Stephen Lucas, in his book, The Art of Public Speaking, talks about how good delivery does not call attention to itself. It conveys the speaker's ideas clearly, interestingly, and without distracting the audience. I think you had a few good starts, but if you were able to master each paragraph intro, it would certainly keep your audience invested all the way through. I really liked how you were very expressive and used your hands effectively in communication. I think many people forget to gesticulate, and that can always add much more open and charitable experience for the audience. Each person uses their hands uniquely, and it adds a lot of character and flair to the speaker. I did notice that you sounded a bit quiet as you were giving your speech. You might consider potentially speaking a bit louder to project and give an air of confidence. Allan Poe, in his book, A History of Communication, talks about some of the limitations of speech and says that speech is a short-range medium with a very small reach. So keeping that in mind, make sure to be loud so that you can be heard well. I'm glad that you appreciated the organization of the book. I too found it very easily accessible. You can practically flip to any page and find a tidbit about some information or aspect of a speech for you to consider. I think you did well in highlighting the relatability portion of the book. I think people often try and offer very complex and theoretical ideas and concepts when writing these types of books, and I'm glad that you were able to point out how the author was very easy and down to earth in his expression. Though I did notice as I reviewed your speech that you never gave any criticism for the book. While I understand that the book is really good for its audience, I'm sure you could have found a few things potentially to nitpick. Not everything had to be critical of the content, but nothing is perfect either. It could have been that you thought certain aspects could have been expounded upon, or greater clarification on certain chapters, or maybe offer your thoughts on the difference between the Christian and non-Christian discussions. Reforming Journalism by Martin Olasky has a good quote which says, "Those who rely on the Bible have different views than those who rely on man's wisdom," meaning that as a non-Christian, they may disagree with some of the ideas brought up in the book, or a Christian may respectfully disagree with them as well. So I think you potentially could have talked about that or anything else that came to mind. Nevertheless, the speech overall was really good, and I enjoyed it a lot. So keep up the good work.